Hey, okay. Apologies for that. Just had some technical difficulties to deal with. I wasn't going to be away for another week. Welcome, everybody, to the Overthinking Football Show. My name is George Mokwena. I'm your host, and this is a show that happens every Monday to Thursday at 7 p.m. But if Chiefs, Pirates, Sundowns, Bafana, Banyana style or UWC, even though they are out of the Champions League, are going to be playing, I will be here and we'll be doing watch along. So we will be here live for Bafana tomorrow afternoon. This is a very interactive show, and I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what you guys are thinking about whatever the topic is for the day. And you do, and to add your voice to the show, you do that by pressing the button at the bottom of your screen that says multi-guest. Those watching on YouTube, you have to join me on this side in order to jump in and add your voice to the show, and we can have a conversation. You can join one of the panels and we can interact. Guys, please, let's scream. I'm a little bit late today. We're going to try to get to 40,000 likes, but we're still going to have 3 panels tonight, and I'm still going to hear from you guys and hear what you guys think about the topic we have today. The topic for today is very, very simple. Tebza Umkaya has gotten into more trouble based off of another press conference that he did for Bafana and some of the words that he said. Now, the words that he said was that he was asked about the 2 goals that he scored in the 5-0 win and how he celebrated so hard. What was behind that? And he spoke about how he was celebrating so hard because he doesn't always get full stadiums. So he has to take advantage when he does. And it kind of got spun into speaking about Mamelodi Sundowns, its support, and how the stadiums are not full. Lucas Rumuripe or Loftus when he goes to play. And it's a very interesting conversation to have because, like I always say, you can tell the truth. According to him, he was speaking about Bafana, and he was speaking about how Bafana only gets full stadiums when they're out of Gauteng. So it's not that many times when they get a chance to celebrate that hard in front of all of those fans, right? But like I was saying, the truth doesn't matter. The truth doesn't matter when it comes to the media. And the crux of what I want to speak about today with you guys is these comments and his misunderstanding of the situation, of where he is, of the press and the media. But then also I want to speak about the media in general, because we all know that they were fishing for something. It's a week where Mamelodi Sundowns is going to be playing in a final versus Makesi over the weekend, the Carling Black Label Knockout Cup. We know that he's had press conference issues before. There was a reason why they asked him that specific question about something that happened when. It was quite a long time ago, right? But they were asking him these questions because they knew that we need to take him down somewhere. And even if you say the things perfectly, our media is going to go and spin it. Coach Mangoba, trust and believe, going into this game, when they have the press conference for the final, he's also going to be asked the same questions. He's also going to be put under pressure, and they're going to be looking for the headline. Now, I have a bunch of questions about Utebza, about the media, about the people that run the press conferences, because surely, as the media officer of Bafana, who is meant to protect the king, his tunes, Bafana. Surely you should have understood that maybe Utebza is the wrong person to call into this press conference because, number one, he's had press conferences problems before. Number two, he's got a final coming up. Number three, we know what happened throughout that whole thing with coach Hugo Bruce jumping in, and then they had to go have lunch. But also with the history of Hugo also having issues. Every time he gives a press conference, there's always issues that follow. Whether it was Chiefs, what happened with Chiefs, whether it's what happened with Uplom, what happened with Rulani, we had to come out and look at all of these things. Surely at this point, whoever's running these press conferences and whoever's the media officer for Bafana has to step in and say, Mara guys, let's try control all of this. So let me hear what you guys think about what he said. Remember, press the button at the bottom of your screen that says multi-guest. I let you in and we can have a conversation about whatever it is we're seeing here. Oh, Crazy T, how are you, my brother? How are you doing? How are you doing, Lebza? That's something that I want to get to as well. So let me put the timer up. please feel free to jump in. If you're following me, you can jump in and we can have a conversation. Apologies for my voice, guys. But I'm gonna hold strong. Okay. Let's see. Agent, my brother, how are you? Yeah, man. Technology's been fighting me for a whole week. Now it wanted to fight me today too.
No, it was waiting for me to come back. Don't worry. It was waiting for me. I've been so used to sneezing all over the show.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. But it's fine. Agent, let's get straight into it, my brother.
Yeah.
I'm going to start you off here. What do you think about the words that were said by Utebs?
Sometimes it's not the ways that are poisonous. Sometimes it's who's the ways, who's in the ways that is poisonous. You know, back in Goswan, mashi tubing is like a pep. So like meaning for my mother, my milk is or the milk from the cow is pure, but the problem is the container which is dead, you know. Or sometimes it's vice versa, who knows? But anyway, you're not there. I think for me the words they're unfortunate to say the very least. And even those unfortunate words, I feel like they could have had a better response if they were from someone in good standing, you know. The moment I criticize Rulani fans get jittery because they know me as a guy who always criticizes Rulani. But if you have to say something to criticize Rulani, they want to take it some way, you know, better than I would have, you know. So I think the words are just unfortunate, you know.
Yeah.
And some say maybe he meant Bafana, and I say, but the context is, and you know, Mokwena is well spoken. Where I usually play, where does he usually play? He plays at Sundowns, you know. So I think he was just, and you pointed out, someone said, you're going to be misquoted. And he said, no, but I'm telling the truth, you know. He was given time to retrospect, and he didn't retrospect. So I think, yeah, those are unfortunate ways, and I don't know how it's going to affect him, yeah.
Do you think that maybe could he have done anything different in this conversation? Could it have been a comment that was just said in passing and was taken and recontextualized by certain people of the media? Do you think that how much does the media have to play in that?
No, but you should have to know. That's why sometimes you have to be aware of your surroundings. You know, towards the build-up of an important game, the media is always out to get Sundowns. You know, so you have to be careful of how you say Sundowns player or a Sundowns representative. Even towards any final, media is fishing. You know,
yeah.
And he himself, if he meant Bafana at all, you know, you should have said at Bafana usually don't play. You know. And even with that, still it was going to attract criticism because they're going to ask, but do you play with full stadium at your team? You know, so it was an unnecessary comment, very necessary, you know. And again, on top of that, he comes out, instead of doing that, he's supposed to do damage control, but he doesn't do damage control. If anything, he lies further and says, we've been asked by the fan base or whatever he said, which was a lie because we had the question, you know. So I think he should have been professional and just said, guys, I didn't mean it this way. Maybe I meant Bafana instead of Sundowns. A lie somewhere, you know, to cover your face. Yeah.
What do you think about the media officers? What role do they have to play in this whole thing? Because with Bafana, it's not just Debs, man. It seems like every time there's a press conference for something, drama must follow. Shouldn't the media officers be helping here?
Yeah, no, our media officers, all of them are poor. You know, I think at club level, at Bafana level, you know, I think it was Almoron's interview at Sporting, where the Sporting was just said, no, we're talking about Sporting only, you'll hear your sense of Manchester United. That's your role, you know. The entire month you are paid to sit at the press conference and control the press. And that means control the narrative, you know. So I think he's failing at that. Yeah.
If he apologizes now, let's say he put out a statement, do you think it would have any bearing, any weight?
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I think an apology maybe now is a bit late, But one thing that I could say, just ride out the storm, maybe. But then again, if you don't ride out the storm, like someone saying, what happens if the stadium stood full on Saturday or it was full on Wednesday? The clip is going to be played over and over again. So maybe I think it's high time. Maybe he does have a statement and say, "I didn't mean Sundowns, I meant Bafana," and then end of story. And even Mangoba has something to rely on because definitely I'm going to ask Mangoba the question. Yeah. And Mangoba can just say refer to the statement made by the player, and then that's it.
Okay. Yeah. Let me bring in Tyler. Tyler, welcome to the show. How are you?
Yes.
Evening, Oti. How are you?
I'm good, and you, my brother?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but there's an echo. Yo.
Oh. Yes. I'm at the airport, OT.
No stress, no stress. Let's push through it. Tell me, Tyler, what did you think about the comments that were made by mokwena?
I think it was an unfortunate comment, man. OT. I think this proves these guys, they don't get crash courses on media and how to handle media, because media is sometimes out there to get the scoop and sell for the week, and also the issue of emotional intelligence. It's very critical in cases of this nature. I think the boy must just issue a statement, because whatever you say to the media, it can also break and make your career. So it was just unfortunate to say that whatever he said, he should have handled it better. He should have said or phrased it a different way, not the way he did. And then he still has the gut to say, "Yeah, but I'm being honest."
Yeah.
So, I think it was unfortunate, and I think the media guys, Bafana must also intervene, assist him to write that statement, because he portrayed, something else to the public. Sundowns is a big team, so what message is he sending out there to his fans? And even now, he's not playing to his 100% capacity, capacity as a player. And now you're sending a statement of this nature. So basically, you are telling the fans that you are not playing well because you're not, the stadium is not full. You only perform when the stadium is full. Basically, that's what you're saying to everybody out there.
Can I ask, Tyler, what do you think about the relationship between players, coaches, and the media? Because these guys continue to write stories and continue to look for headlines and all of that stuff. But yet every day, our guys come out and they're laughing and smiling with them. Shouldn't it be colder now that come out, say your piece, go home. Don't do anything extra.
Come again, Oti, sorry.
No, I'm saying, what do you think about the relationship between our players and coaches with the media? Because they laugh and smile with these people, but then the next day you've got headlines all over the place. Shouldn't it be colder now that maybe they should be told, keep it on the straight and narrow and go home?
Yeah, I think what you're saying is the ideal, is how you handled it at this point in time, because really, this is bad, OT. This is bad. They must come on board and try to salvage the situation as the media, fan of a fan.
Okay. Tyler, do you think that, what do you think about media officers in the country? Are they doing the right job in protecting the players?
No, OT. As I was saying, first, there should be a crash course for every player in the PSL, on how to handle, the media conferences, in emotional intelligence, stuff like that. What to say, what not to say, because some of these guys, they come from Elokshini and they become professional players, some of them are, we all know the level of education and all of that. So, taking into consideration of those issues, you need to, as a media houses, you need to come up with interventions to assist. It's the same thing as the refereeing. There are courses referees they take. So as media Lendoka in South Africa, you should come up with such initiative because really this could make and break players. And media houses are out there to get the scoop for the week because they need to sell papers.
No, Tyler.
So they should come
Yeah.
up
No, go on.
Yeah.
I know you can go on. Finish off.
No, I'm just saying they need to play their role on OT. They need to know what is their role. Maybe we need to check what is the role and responsibility of the media houses in South Africa, SAFA, and the player, the team's media officers. What is their roles and responsibility? One of their roles is to educate and inform the players, have courses, and train these players on how to handle, conferences. I'm not sure about the coaches, if whether also they go through that. Maybe everybody, who's the face of the team must go through those courses.
Okay. Tyler, let me bring in Lebza. Lebza, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. He's not one of our own. He's not one of our own. Teboho Mokwena. He's not one of our own.
Hey, Kumo's infecting everyone one by one. Lebza, I'm getting the sentiment from what you were singing there, but tell me, where do you lie with what Lebza said?
It's one thing for us to be bantered by opposition, but to be bantered by Teboho Mokwena when we have the likes of Khamabilia who have history with the club. They've never said anything sinister. They've never come out and say this kind of nonsense. You've got the likes of Trompokekana, the long-range master, the legend, the captain of the club. You've never heard him say such nonsense. And they protect the club. But this one who has no history whatsoever with Sundowns is clowning about and on the pitch is not delivering. So it's a different story being clowned by him about our attendance. Well, we understand where we stand with our attendance of the stadium, and we talk to a lot of people, and we take the criticism from inside with the branches and everything. We understand that criticism, but to be clowned by Teboho Mokwena where he's laughing and all of that, talking about full capacities. I mean, it's completely unnecessary,
Do we have, how do you feel about our PR structures in the country? Do we have adequate PR structures? Because for me, besides him saying anything, maybe Mokwena shouldn't be allowed to go out for press conferences. How come we don't have adequate stuff PR-wise?
I have no idea, but I think it also boils down to players themselves understanding. Nana, can you please lower this? It goes back to players understanding that they carry the badge with them, and anything they say can and will be used against them. The media needs to make money, and controversy sells. So whatever you say, I don't blame the media at all. It's their business to sell whatever people say. So look at the likes of Grant Kekana. He's not going about talking badly about Sundowns. He's playing there. Teboho Mokwena, for some odd reason, he goes about to introduce Borena before the club does, goes in press conferences with the coach and is busy giggling when the coach is saying he wishes to be the first coach to win the new edition of the MTN 8. Today he says these kind of things. You know, it's and on the pitch is not giving what's expected of him. So the audacity to kind of come back and speak like that is weird. I don't think he doesn't know what he can or cannot say in press conferences. He knows. He just chose that. He just chose to say that. So either way,
can I ask how does he rebound from this? What can Debza do? Because obviously there was a thing with Mangoba, and they said they solved that, and people feel away about that. Now there's this thing. What can Debza do to get back into the good graces of Mamelodi Sundowns and fans?
He can request that his contract be terminated and he goes to Chiefs or Pirates.
Evan.
Then he'll be in our good books.
He can't come out and give a statement or play better or keep quiet, go about his job.
Akere, he wants full capacity. So right now, what's keeping him at Sundowns is because he knows as soon as he leaves, he has to take 50% salary cut, and he does not want that. Because at Pirates, they'll pay you 30,000 a month, 50,000 a month. So he has to take salary cut and go there. So he needs to make way. At this point, I don't even care about his price tag. Like, I just want people who will die for Sundowns, you know?
Yeah. Hey.
So
okay.
That's pretty much my point. But at the same time, yeah, man. If people think we are overreacting, that's because they're enjoying the banter on their side. On our side, we like the banter is fine if it's coming from opposition, but if it's coming in from inside, it's a different story. I mean, he came out to say he was speaking within the context of Bafana, but you could tell, man. You could tell what he was saying.
Okay, for time's sake, I'm going to jump in. Say hello to the little lady that side. That's once again, man. Indoctrinator.
This one talks too much. I see Tabeleng there. Tabeleng or Kiabuti. I attend games in Tabeleng that you can't talk to me about.
Let me bring in Malume Kutso. Malume Kutso, welcome to the show. How are you?
Miss Kalwana, the show has been away for some time. We must come in peace. How are you, Mr. Oti?
Man, Kimnati, man, Malume Kutso.
Mr. Oti,
have you been good?
Soft parenting. Sundowns, Ebata, soft parenting.
Tell me, Malume Kutso. Yeah.
You know, I just want to highlight something, Mr. Woodsy, and I did that on purpose, by the way. But I just want to highlight something. Pirates fan base is the most called out fan base for those who don't know. Jose Rivera Gasiegi, Mr. Woodsy, we share every day with the stadium is empty. And as please, from now on, I'm a post-match conference with Jose Rivera. He tells you that the stadium is empty. The stadium must be full for a big team. Is he lying? Orlando is not full. Even if, Mr. Oitsi, the only time Orlando is full is against Sundowns. Well, not only against Sundowns, but maybe other teams towards month end. Siyakwaliza. We understand the budget may corner. But the truth is, in SA, the stadiums are not full. If you think the Mokwena is lying, go and watch a rerun on Supersport right now. I can bet my last man it's empty, unless if it's a Soweto derby. If the Chiefs game, Mr. OT, when they go out, Mr. OT, Chiefs games, ne?
Yeah.
Cape Town City, it's not packed to capacity. It's a lot of people, but it's not packed to capacity. We have to understand, Mr. OT, if you stadium in 90,000, see full, Mogui 90,000. it's 45,000. Like the way you pay in SA, they don't even bother printing tickets for the whole seat. They don't even book out the whole stadium, Mr. OT. They book out half. Literally, you get a game tour, it's sold out. On Team Moibuga, you can see with your high man. Oh, so Babuti lower TFL. And then do you identify as full? Even when the stadium is empty, you must say we identify as full.
I care about a glass half empty, glass half full. Your stadium half full, man.
Mr. OT. I spent never. It's a down spawner. It's about 57. But I want to comfort them and say, even us with our big numbers, as a Squalisi Stadium. So there's a kuluma manga. And because Jose Rivero has called us out every day, Mr. OT, every day, like I can challenge you moving forward, listen to Jose Rivero challenging Amapagane to come to the stadium. It's starting to improve. It is starting to improve. The numbers are there. The numbers are showing. But still, the upper tier, the stadium, it's not packed. So not even Rebukhemufukeng can say we play in a packed, sold-out stadium. I've watched the Ugandans. I've got the Ugandans on my TikTok. The algorithms have somehow produced the Ugandans on my TikTok. That game, Mr. OT, was packed to the rafters. That game, big man space, Mr. OT. Big man umuntu. Ukayibona phi into enjalo? Mina soweto dabi. And then soweto dabi kula malanga. Ngifana ukubona lapha ku orange, lapha phezulu. Ngikubona ku orange okuningi nyana. Ukayibona Mr. OT packed to the rafters engaka.
Yeah. But then, Malume Kuto, can I ask you though? Is there maybe a difference between who's saying it? I mean, if it's Jose Rivero, who's won 5 cups for Pirates, he's generally brought in new youngsters, you guys feel happy about him, and he's criticizing, does it ring different than someone else?
Rivero has been saying it from day one. That's why I want to challenge you to listen to him every day. Before the cups started coming in, his statement goes something like, I'm surprised that a big team is not filling up a stadium.
Yeah.
That don't want to be offensive. Mokwena came for South Africa. And not everyone is offended. Some people are choosing to be offended. And some people are making up things now. How do you say Mokwena is not delivering? Why? Mokwena is not delivering.
But then, Malume Kuso, can I ask you this? If he said this in May, right, do you think that there is a different reaction than when he says it now, after things have transpired? Allegedly.
Probably. And another thing is, he's a big Mufukeng. Umufukeng now no for no reason. Make conversation. You understand? So Nomkwena nje uvela hleke, Mr. Uti. He said that and he burst into laughter. I think he into hlababantu. And and there are different types of laughs, and not everyone will understand them, and it's not necessarily based on measure of intelligence, but based on a measure of exposure, which is some laughs are as a result of being embarrassed. You know, some laughs are at the risk. It's like a lubricant. It serves as a lubricant for a conversation. You know, social media. Someone says LOL. How are you doing? You know, you're watching them in the past. They're writing LOL, but they're serious. But they're saying LOL so that the next person knows Wuti. I mean no malice when I say this. You know what I mean? So I was just saying, I'm not fighting, but the truth of the matter is, Mr. OT, Cape Town Stadium, how many? 80,000.
Cape Town? I'm not sure.
60 to 80,000. After this great run, Bafana, we've only sold 39,000 or 29,000 somewhere up.
Yeah.
And we are so excited with you going to fill it up.
Yeah, for this last time, because I just want to ask you, for what's left of the time, do you think that enough is being done PR-wise, that maybe even before he says anything, should somebody have stepped in and said, hey guys, Sundowns Yadala? this is going to happen, somebody's going to say something, don't let him go out. Or during the question, when it's referencing a match that happened a long time ago, shouldn't somebody have jumped in and said, hey, hang on?
I don't even think so, Mr. Uti.
Okay.
I get the point. Like, even the one where you say, does it matter who says it? In some instances, it does. I think right now, the SA public is just bored because there's no PSL football or anything in the interim. So they're trying to find something to talk about. And the stable mokwena issue is nice because we all agree that he's not lying. If you don't agree, then there's something wrong. You understand? And like I said, a number of people, multiple, numerous, whichever is the correct expression, continuously say this, which the stadiums are empty.
Yeah.
The boy played for Supersport, where they hire a band. There are no supporters. The boy plays for Sundowns, where when it's packed, it's a lot of ANC jerseys.
Yeah.
You understand? The boy plays for Bafana, where Mr. Ochi, these boys came back in bronze. The airport was walkable, it was free, big hamburger, it was easy. I spent never, Mr. Uti. If you want to shut Mokwena up, go to the stadium and show him Uti he is wrong and we support Amasandawana. This is your chance to show him Mokwena. You're going to the finals. The final is not sold out, but Menla and the Pirates, it's sold out a month before, but we understand which about the Pirates. Come on, Masandawana.
Okay.
Let's show Mokwena Uti he is wrong.
For time's sake, thank you for the we're going to move on to the next panel, but guys, tap on screen. Remember, we're trying to get to 40,000, so tap the screen as much as you can. And also, man, kupari gift. I've been gone for a long time, but I am back. Let me go to Velile. Welcome to the show. Hey, man. Ngapha ngilwiswa i-technology, ngapha ngilwiswa i-flu. Hey, ziyawa, but in-grand, wena.
Yes, asikisi man. Hamba uthatha isihlahla leseniqeda ukuswina man wenza ikhambi. Siyaphekeka. Asifaka nje ubhodweni ukuthi usifudumeze nje. Usigcobe bese
so ngithathe lesihlahla ngisibeke kule bhot semakhufe ngisikhathi. Okay.
Yeah. Yabona usuku usihlepula nje. Ngoba ikhambi li-right.
Hamba. Benile, na indaba man, as umuntu ofave Pirates. Uyibona njani le ndaba kaMkwena?
Indaba kaMkwena, ayi, yabona mntaka bangazi ngeqala kanjani ngoba ngithi siyazi ukuthi thina yabona ingathi indaba yobandlululo i-apartheid yahlukumeza too much. It's like we are a traumatized society. Because sometimes we cannot even tolerate when a person, whether ukhuluma iqiniso or not, or whether he's just crying for our attention.
Yeah.
As much as this is what we are doing as a country, or even Nama Adlala Sundowns, but he's crying for Badlale on a full capacity stadium, and it makes them to perform better if the stadium is into full capacity.
Yeah.
But as always, we are so quick to defend ourselves, but we don't do the introspection.
Yeah. Hey, what's happening? Tabeleng mutamo, Prastem mutamo. Okay, tingenza so. Yeah.
So kwesinye isikhathi kumele sike siyifake nje ey'catulweni zabo and just sometimes hear them without even responding. Hear them ukuthi bathini. As much as you know ukuthi i-media will sensationalize it, they will take it to the data and add enye into nje ezabo, but sometimes we just need to listen to them. Of which brings me again to my attention, boss. If once we can listen to them, then we have to start and think and come up with a plan ukuthi what is it that is wrong that makes us not to attend a game. For example, I could understand if you look at the point here, Orlando Pirates, it's playing in Orlando and it's on the center, probably like Soweto. Some people, they can even walk there and it's easy access. So, and the Sundowns to move game into a Loftus it was mainly to accommodate all the supporters of Pretoria.
Yeah.
As a Pretoria, Mamelodi Sundowns, to go into Tambosino Francis in town. So, which means then you want to accommodate supporters of Mamelodi,
Yeah.
Iranku, Mabopani, Edgeville. So all Pretoria East and West and North. So those but the Loftus and Central. So what do you do now if it's a Central but you still don't get supporters? What might be the issue? We know whether we like it or not. Go good team. Sometimes to go to stadium is not a beautiful experience, ne? We know as some of us that we sometimes go there. It's not a really pleasure to go there. And the footy, you look at even the issue, your accessibility stadium, the transport and the preparation in a corner of matches. What's come in before a match? I don't know, since if FIFA have banned even cutting razors or any activities that will happen before the game. Because remember they said before the World Cup, they said it's going to mess the pitch kanjani the early activities that would happen in the stadium. That's why it was sometimes don't figure early stadium. You can sit there for 2 hours without nothing happening on the nothing. Clearly, you shiswa ilang. Maungana nemali esiphuzo nje usenkingeni lokushisa nje zeliphelele kuyilang. That's why some saying uke stadium at least mangabe udla ucaphuna kusale nyana uhleli lapha nako lapho kuhlala khona izicukuthwana. Udamana ngokuxobela nje phakathi ngalo ubuye neglass nje udlama ice oyakhalisa nje kungconywana. But ma uyisiwengu nje njengathi nje loma extra store usenkingeni enkulu. So
but then
I'm just talking about any activity. Mhlambe i-vibe yakho igroup yakho zenayo wena manje 5 or 6 or uma nicula lishaya isigubhu maybe madani, but that might not be my vibe angithi.
Mara mina ngifuna ukubuza velile. Ngiyawabona ama player nabo coach. Khona abantu who are hired to make sure that these things are controlled. And I think we've seen ama-incident amaningi when it comes to this sort of thing. What job are they doing and what role must they play kule nto esikhulumayo?
Angithi into engishoyo mntawo ukuthi instead of sitting down, read the room and introspect ourselves ukuthi what is it that uTebo Mokwena is saying? We just want to attack him to ukhuluma inhlabathi uyabheda. Ngithola. Instead of just listen, read the room and hear ukuthi uthini. And then that's why you start there. Remember, that's why I was even complaining ukuthi Upanyaza cannot come up and tell me ukuthi akunama supporters ground in Badu Premier of the province. There's no way. You cannot tell us that. While a Premier, you've got access to make sure ukuthi public transport is available to take people to the stadium. And the issue at Pitora it's sometimes you even ask ukuthi does Mamelodi Sundowns engage with the mayor yaseTshwane ePretoria ukuthi look, we've got games as Loftus. It's an issue of safety. It's an issue of parking because we know you parking in Loftus ayikho. Futhi mangabe game yasebusuku nje mangabe uzambela nge-VW angeke ngize ngiye lapho. Khohlwa ke ngikuye bayikhipha ama-light angeyinakuya ke futhi lapha ebusuku. So since address it and see what value can we add to make sure that at least supporters come to the stadium, create a beautiful experience that will be there in the stadium, make it easy access to the stadium. That's why the mayor said must be engaged, and that's a big team. They've brought in big games in Loftus. Surely maybe the mayor, I don't know, that's but if you corner any meetings that are happening every week or with the mayor or the mayoral committees in terms of understanding okay, we've got games that we bring in the city. These are huge games. There's going to be a lot of fans. How can you help us in terms of accessibility to the stadium in terms of transport? Metro bus or Tshwane, can they be extended after hours? If it can be possible, parking. If there's no parking at stadium, can we use maybe Brooklyn or Sunnyside Mall for parking? And then you park and ride. You park there, you ride this bus for the ticket. You go to Loftus, or you either go to Hatfield Station. You do those things. Instead of introspection, see
time, for time. For time. Let me bring you Preston, man. I'm so right to know. Right, man. Let me go to Preston. Preston, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. And the whole panel and bullies are non kene.
Preston.
I hope I'm calling you.
Saguza, perfect. Preston, tell me, Uthini ngale ndaba ka Mokwena or rinka these words that were said.
Yeah, very like nyako kena moyo na taba ewe ya this the spending issue ya Teboho Mokwena, but
Yeah.
now my take upon everything or Teboho Mokwena, I think he's just careless sometimes, so but according to me, I don't think Korean he like we yet because maybe can trail or maybe like he like he's bashing the team's image or it's just that the platform I work to address these things. Personally, that issue ela mancoba hore mancoba abulelo so and then yena at say I think I heger careless ke bolela for o betha ke di dynamics it's the stage in which he addresses these things. So but as for the issue attendance, especially Mamelodi Sundowns has put us in particular. I think he's right because this thing has been going on for years and years. So you can go to Atteridgeville. How can Maunde or go stadium? You'll find people sitting like Mutlasa. They don't want to go to watch soccer. And then again, we don't want to attend games.
Yeah.
Loftus, I think Loftus, they chose well, especially our team, because Loftus, Eco Central is in the central. It can accommodate social move, Atteridgeville and Mamelodi, especially Mamelodi West because they are very near to Loftus, but because people don't want to go to the stadium, I think our PR, Mambush, the coordinators, and then our branches. I think we must stand up and do more and do extra more. If maybe into another year, modi branching because more branching. It is emphasized the whole no Ariango Stadium. Another thing, this thing late coming. But as for coming back to another especially I'm pleading to everybody who let's not give him the sharp end of the stick too much because I think that thing is going to affect his performance on the field of play because irrespective of we learn, but he is one of our own. Remember Brajoji and the panel as a parent, what do? You call him to a side and then you give him a tongue lashing.
Mara Preston, where are the parent figures? Because surely there's media officers, there's coaches, there's all of those people. I don't think that on that day, he could have said anything. He could have said anything. And it would have been blown out of proportion. How about Tubaring? Mara, somebody else and have them go sit in that thing. Because Rabona, Lena Korea finally.
Yeah, true. It's true that and I think that's why it goes back to your translation because we know this person ama solo so I'll communicate the media. Why can't we take another player? Representing the team because and then at the meantime. And we call him to a side, and then I'm no ball. Remember, media Brajoji, we must be frank about this. Media get worried. It's one the lawyer. They will push you to especially journalists. So because he said maybe Harry won't delay malicious, and then he just said them, and then at the end of the day. They use them to they use them against the team, especially against the team. Because remember this issue Sundowns, they are 57. We are 57. We don't attend games. At Contractor Stadium, whatsoever. I started because when they want to discredit us, especially pertaining to performance-wise and the achievement, they will want to tell us about Sundowns, about I want to support so in that case, the team as a whole, remember bafana, especially lately, because Hugo has brought back that vibe 96 at least.
Stand for time.
I think that
for time, Preston, for time, something again.
I think the marketing.
Yeah.
Okay.
For time, let me just jump in. Let me go to Kumo. Kumo, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Thank you, Preston. Kumo, I'm good at you, my brother.
Sharp, especially after the Kloroha Abuto Mongwa Lukosi, ka bedroom suite earrings, Abla Cantu snacks, Kimotere, yo. Kimotere, earrings beds to double pepper, la meat, Kimotere. You're proud of you.
I said Joshua.
36 months to pay 50 randa. One meat. Otherwise,
Hey, Kuba, I can get us straight. Kuba, where do you sit on this discussion about the words that Tebza?
To be honest, I wasn't offended because only a clip. Karno, I get how media can manipulate us, especially journalists, to get sensationalism for clickbait. Then I saw the entire thing. And, okay, that's what he meant. But I get we've got our stalwarts. Who agent they can unpack things text warning because now I don't easily get offended. Why eat again? So I wasn't offended until agent Taulela Arwa not say Karia man garbumuka na batwenya nele rulani ka di Instagram tsa hae tsa go vida ya tla like anako benching lwena wa tshwenya la tlapela bo mokwena. I get a color thing big so how do you go on the that's saying no man mokwena already his own thin eyes mufa like aloko benching why you to relay one so now you're gonna come back what that laugh my grandma we are very sensitive especially wukum you can't laugh like and in twe everyborang neke backlash kor now we feel manaba our nemesis ba something to actually get us at kayona because I'm struggling ho le batho no so ke busy nna ke le so la recruit because of mokwena international break enke re busy ro manager ka bochidima re busy le mo kana le Chiefs kore he put our club into distribute wa bona ntwe ke bolelang wa bona so this guy, I get it because everyone goes Sundowns who seems to be media trained. Only Bumukwena always buy off rempa. Why always Bumukwena goes Sundowns? Manova Zanga off rempa. Rulani na off rempa. Lomokwena Olimpopo. Actually, my club probably two. My N1, my Mapedi, my Changa, my N1. Narabula is go Sundowns. Why something never na? Why something never na? Why one? No, like back to my point. How can distribute? We feel about two ammunition. Ka statement sele sa hore full capacity. My bra, and this thing, I know what he meant, but because of our sensitive issue, go on a Federica with delay.
Marakumo, can I ask? Can I ask?
Yeah.
Can I ask? Bafana has had so much drama, man. Hugo Bruce in Alona Rulani, and then he fought with them. They get some point. He had to go take Nzeki for lunch or whatever. Come okay, Boplomo. Surely, man, Bafana, there has to be somebody who thinks to themselves, you know what, guys? Maybe the timing is wrong for Mokwena to come out and sit with this thing because now, personally, I think there's nothing he could have said You could have said anything and something would have been spun from it. Where are the grown-ups, man, to say, wait again, guys, we're not doing this today. Do like benching or do like go change room. Don't come out for this.
No, Mokwena ke grown up. I go to Konoraga V class. Ke motho o moholo. So, ntho e ke bolelang le ena fela, he said everything right. O sentse ka o tsheha because he realized to what he said. Ka utlwa le re ke bo keng kana a o dikhutswa tsa sekgowa se sa go law. A re ke bo shyness love or embarrassed love.
Yeah.
And the fact that he loved and what's he like a mukholi and whatever look are we skolong or sna le nna ara ya skolong la fo ele ya often the judge ya often then are no honest ya often the tlhalohang and to sure Sundowns so it's a team I go why to Sundowns there's like a PR. Remember he had his whole hullabaloo and scandal, right?
Yeah.
Then. So this was a chance to actually redeem himself, to show solidarity, to know we don't hold grudges. I rang the N1. Rolly N1 lands how pedi by life. Not in my name. I ran to a no laughing stock. Retsa gave out to body capot at the woodwork and also Herlevian. I hate beauty.
Okay, Kubo. Let me see. For time's sake, let me bring it ASAP. ASAP, welcome to the show. How are you?
Utsi nina Mr. Otsi.
Hey man, hey, kimametsuba enwani man. Hey. ASAP, welcome. Tell me, where do you sit on this conversation, man? What do you think of the words that were said by Utebza?
Ikaslam amapedi so ibiza maparu. Ezase Compton ikaslam. Ama Bloods nama Crips. Mr. Otsi, I'm gonna namhlolela.
Oh, Kosiam. I go away for a week. And we will come back. Hey, but it's fine.
Namhlolela umkwena nina Mr. Otsi. Now Mr. Otsi ngiyakufaka kulento le. Ngiyakufaka kulento le kule sensationalism eniyenzayo. Namhlolela umkwena. Umkwena uyaphuma uyantshela ukuthi no guys, mina ngikhuluma ngokuthi for bafana sijwala ama-empty stadiums. Nina nithi hayi unamanga. You don't mean that. We know what you mean. How? Kanjani manje? Ngiyanitshela ukuthi ngizama ukuthini. Nina hayi bo bafethu isipana kanjani kanti lento le. Now ngiyakublame Mr. Otsi. You're part of the media that doesn't protect our players. Hey Mr. Otsi ngiyakufaka nawe dabo ukhona kuma dstv TikTok awards lapha. Ngiyakufaka nawe da Mr. Otsi. Kanti Mr. Otsi, kanti what is the purpose of media, Mr. Otsi? It's to control narratives.
Yeah.
It's to control narrative and it's to push a certain agenda. It's to control narrative and it's to push agenda.
Yeah.
Media ye South Africa ye bola. I push narrative enjani. Does it support and uplift idiski or is it there to sensationalize Mocha love? Push mocha love go media in South Africa mfethu. You can even see the type of content that South Africans enjoy. As to opposed to abo Cakenet, mongabheki Cakenet vandag ons braai zakhipha wholesome family vibes. And you can see it in the rap here as well.
Vandag net, right?
Vandag ons braai, Mr. Otsi.
Hey, vandag ons braai. Met opa en oma. Hey,
yeah. Vandag op 50, vandag op pasela. Yangithola, wholesome stuff. Kai, mocha love. Yo, unamanga, awunadlesi.
Mara, can I push back?
Please.
These guys are not new. Abo, we know the names even of the reporters. So surely at this point somebody should have said, guys, these are not your friends. Hugo Bruce, stop sitting for 3 hours after you've done announcing the squad. Please go home. Tebza, we know that something might happen here. Let's not take you out. Surely at this point, man, somebody should say, guys, you know what the game is now.
No, but it goes both ways. It's like it goes both ways. Responsibility cannot only follow on the soccer players, Mr. Otsi. It also has. We also need to put pressure on you guys as the media to push better narratives for our soccer players to represent them in a better light. So we have to uphold you guys to a different standard as well, because it's your guys' job to manipulate us as the people who consume this information to say, no, guys, this is how you need to view Bafana, because you guys are the ones that control narrative. Soccer players know nothing about PR. Soccer players know nothing about abakhona ukushrepa labantu abazowazelaphi PR. Abakhona ukushaya ilace labantu bazoyazelaphi PR, Mr. Otsi. Sincengile nje yabo into enza iPSL ibe mnandi is the drama ukuthi le imiste phambi kwebhali yo heartbreak yo into emnandi ngePS idrama, Mr. Otsi, yangithola. So we need to hold these guys accountable. Yabo ukuthi you guys we cannot let you guys continue talking about our football fraternity this way. We cannot continue.
So then how do you police them?
Sure.
How do you police them?
No, but so at the end of the day, as call them to with the media is doing their job. No, their job is to control a narrative that enables that space to improve. Narrative, storyline, character arc. And so on. But Nazi, as Ama fans, we need to hold these guys accountable and tell them, no, you guys were out of line here. It's not fair, Mr. Uguti, when the Springboks win a World Cup, there's a 7-part documentary. It's not fair, Mr. Uguti, that when Bafana finished third, there's nothing. There's nothing. It's not fair, Mr. Uguti, that when Springbok does well, World Cup, these guys can go and feed their families with the promo jobs that they get with brands. It's not fair that when I drive down the N3, I see billboards of Abo Etsepe, Abo Siakolisi. I don't see anything about Ronwen. I don't see anything about Mshishi. I don't see anything about Hugo. It's not fair, Mr. Otsi. It's not fair. And it starts at narrative, this thing, because rugby players have been pushed as family wholesome men. We need to do the same thing for Lizazet as a idiski as well.
But just to add some context, you know that, for example, if you come to a Springboks event, they bar the media. So they basically tell the media that you're not allowed basically to film or talk to anybody else other than Usia at this specific time. Because I think they also understand, they get rules to say, guys, you can't talk about this. The fact that you can't talk to anyone else.
I won't say the names. Babonile ama case, ba apply la bills, babonile. So are those the same people we're expecting to do things in the right way? Are those the people that are currently in court cases now? Are those the people that we're expecting to do things the right way? We have to hold them accountable, because at the end of the day, if South Africans say asai lapo, the sponsors will see it's okay. Viewership is going down. We need to protest. Nazi as our fans. If the sponsors see Guti, we can't get a return on our investments in here, they will pull up. Then they will have to pull up their socks. Again now.
But then, can I ask then? In the last time, I'll give you a little bit of time. Can I ask? Are we not then? How do I put it? Are we not? Are we the people who are speaking about this? Do we represent fans as a whole? Because one of the other things that happens with snippets is that I see a snippet.
Yeah.
I may not see the statement later on. I may not see all of these other things. Maybe Velen Funugula, maybe I haven't liked Utebza since he fought or allegedly fought with Mangoba.
Yeah.
Isn't that the damage that we have to limit? To say that, guys, maybe you have to be strategic. You know Mokwena has issues. You hear the question is from a match that happened 2 months ago, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
Yeah.
Somebody, if I'm a press officer, shouldn't I step in? I mean, if you look at the example I use is Tyler, the singer. She was going through the colored thing. And then there was an interview where somebody tried to bring it up after everything had been said. And she looked at her publicist, and her publicist said, hey, we're not doing that today. Move on.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Where are those people in our media? Because now it seems like Rulani gets into trouble at Sundowns because of PR. Yeah, TS Galaxy Ramovic is getting into trouble because of PR. Coach X is getting into trouble because of at another team. Hugo Bruce is getting into trouble. Where are those people, man? What's happening? Why aren't we seeing those people working?
Yeah, there's definitely a lack of vikegela machita from some of the vulture. The guys that just feed off the scraps. There's definitely people who are not protecting them, because I don't know if I'm mistaken, but you know, in most sports, when the coach goes out and addresses the media, he goes out with the captain is Katsinas Bayer, because that's the person who represents the team at the highest level, besides a coach and so on. And I think we've seen Run speak Gabaya. That's someone who knows how to articulate himself, first of all, Young Tola, and that's someone who knows how to evade the drama-esque type of questions and so on. So I think Nazi, bafana machita na bafana baz like this about okay, bafithu immediately look because it's my headline. Let's select the person who's the most diplomatic and give the boring answers if that's the case. Then lapho ngiyavumelana nawe ke
Okay.
but imida nami ngiyayiblame for sensationalism nokuzama cause drama, and maybe that's just how South African football has been for the longest. Maybe that's how we sell the agenda, through drama, like wrestling. Yeah, Abu Vince McMahon bonke labantu laba kahle. So Mr. T, I'm glad that you're back. I'm keep pushing this thing, dog.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you, Otsi.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. Let me bring in Ustez. Hey, uloku uyangimessager. Uyazi ukuthi uzongena man.
Hey, it's been a long time, my man. It's been asizwe ukuthi uyaphila uthi asazi kwenzakalani manje hawo. Chiefs mayisiwina lamakhaphe ey'nkuni awusekho mngani wami. Chiefs mayibhizi yotheza lapha namakhaphe ey'nkuni awusabonakali ngabe siyacelebrate phela ukuthi hawu at least nizokwenza iceremony ngoDisemba nabenayotheza ikhaphi yey'nkuni nizobaza lapha neNaturena kudliwa inyama celebrate iKhufa Cup nale inkuni.
Sekeleni iKhufa Cup yethu, sekeleni inkuni zethu. Si right. Awubona le inkuni siyabraya neNaturena. Si off for 2 weeks kumnandi siyekeleni yini eligijima kakhulu na indaba uthini ngale ndaba ka Mokwena ukuthi utheni ngama stadium. Where do you sit on le ndaba?
Othi in South Africa iqiniso silazi malishiwo umuntu omhlophe. If a black person tells the truth, it's not the truth. Lo muntu lo is a tuyahlupa because he's black. But if this was Hugo Pro saying this, because he's been saying things like this, but because now it's Tabza who said that. Nanokuthi you sesimjudge according to ukuthi khamba kanjani lapha kuSundowns asambheki ukuthi bekhuluma ngani. If this thing was said by Hugo Bros, but then it was said by Utebza conference. Now
Hugo Bruce wakhuluma ngeChiefs 2 weeks later. Siyakhetha abantu beChiefs. Ayoyenza ama-breakfast nabonseki ngoba kunzima. Hayi naye simgibelile la.
No, but then let's look at this. Let's look at the show. Utebza ngendlela bayisho ngakhona. Utebza was telling the truth. Yebo siya improve right now. Sesiyabona ama-fans egroundini kancane, but Utebza was telling the truth. And Utebza bezama ukusikhuthaza bafethu. Akusafana asisona lesquad sabo Shabalala esadanzela ubale. Understand lesabo Teko nabo Shabalala esadanzela ukuqualify bengaqualifyanga. These guys are qualifying back to back. Number 1. It's not like they're qualifying with a calculate. Back to back number 1. Guys, let's go to stadiums. Maybe for the guy show Angelo Konabes understand, but then he chose to say it in England, which I had to celebrate because I'm trying to of which you are still the truth, because I see it in the ground. As coach in our Bible, lava Trinyana lava Trinyana lava Sepitor. Ubega Kulum this time. Ubekuluma never fan of it. Sinasia miss and Ushi don't want to put guys. Debza, Konava was to say in the show.
Mara ngithi bekuyichance yakhe sithe ukuthi bekuyichance yakhe ukuthi naye I clean up. That's why lo muntu beyayisho ukuthi hey wena isho ithi bafana.
Amanje akithi manje naye ubuye waphinda wahlanganisa naleya ukuthi nangapha siwina ama-cups, we've been winning league nani I know abashayisa ngamahloni. Maybe was telling them nakhona hayi funa khona ngimblame mina uTebza how we've been winning league, siya dominator the Champions League laphayana siphuma semi-finals still nanizi kumele nizinike ikipa ze-ANC ukuze nize ground nifake mahhala. nakhona bebatshela ivar because nabo bayaphoqa nabo labo bekumele abatshele but then at this point bekhuluma abafana uTems was saying the truth guys, let's support these guys, they are doing well, bronze medalist, they qualified now already with number 1 and they still gonna and but already grand, so asibasupporteni bafowethu, how come on.
Mara cela ukubuza yena uTebza nabo coach bakhe nalabantu abasebenza bathatha amaphoto lapha bafana and all of that stuff. Only somebody man bekumele angena athi guys ungangibuza ngento eyenzeke 2 months ago, let's stick to the match please and carry on. Why singanayo leyo nto ngoba ingathi thina as much as city media ifuna iyasifuna lezi zinto mara nathi man ngathi siyathanda nje ukutrenda. Hugo Bruce trenda every week for example. Surely man at some point kumele kungena abantu bathi hayi man guys.
Mawubhekile uthi lapha kubafana bafana akunamuntu obhekele into zemida. Ngizokwenzela isibonelo ngale team yakhe wena amakhaphe ezinkuni. Those guys quick team yakho they are trained to how to deal with the media yabo. Siye ukuthi anwin ma cups but then ngeke uzuze umdlalo weChiefs ekhuluma of ramp kwi media. Same like iPirates yabo. Kunabantu abatrainer ukuthi guys mozokhuluma nemedia. Lezi Sundowns even abacoach bakhona ngoba vele kubafana bafana lapha vele ulahlele uthiwa lapha hambe wenza imali. So lezi Sundowns vele isilaka kunamuntu oyibheka kusentwana mawukhuluma nemedia ukhuluma kanje awusho 1 and 2 and 3. So uhamba nakho wafika nakho bafana nakhona bafana vele ucoach wakhona vele into yabo zifanga mvunye vele masikhuluma sinaki sisho noma yini yabo. So that's why uTebs esithole sekanje but thena some understand ukuthi no, this guy was telling ukuthi guys asambe nisizokwenza bafana and ubetshela ngala abanye la ukuthi nani we've been winning you league back to back 7 times now anizini groundini nikani ukufuna ukuzama uzofaka mahala musana ukusibonisa ngabantu nina ngena manifaka ama NCT shirts lapha nizofaka mahala makuthiwa uzanizobuya igame uswini league. If you remember the last time we win the league labantu kwaku empty groundini. I understand I've been winning it but bad dominator they even calling themselves with team enkulu but still ngena abantu abayi 5 6 7 8 yabo. So uTebs was telling the truth bafethu.
For time let me bring in Prastomi, welcome to the show. How are you? Imnandi Prastomi, but you sound far away man. Ngatude. It's something with the sound man. Ngathi you sound like you're far away. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's right. Prastomi, na indaba. Mokwena, where do you sit on this topic?
Team na ndi side lika Mokwena. I am supporting him 100%. There's a naked reason why I'm supporter. Firstly, interview firstly we am born but he was wearing bafana gaina t-shirt up.
Yeah.
Engulakho.
Yeah.
The media briefing, it was a preparation for a game of bafana.
Yeah.
So it does questions will based on quick games bafana. And then the last time Mokwena scored, he was playing for Bafana and the stadium was packed. So question it was based on that, nothing else. Now the problem is that the person who quoted him take a quote yake, wabeki picture yake, and wabeka an empty stadium which is Lucas Moripe. Now if you got abantu baza interpret. Thirdly, I notice Mokwena is a type of a guy says the interview is laughing. And when it comes to Mamelodi Sundowns players, to all Sundowns players, when there's a media ends a guy or any video about, they are always looking something to say about the Sundowns players.
Yeah.
Because you can go and check that rulani 10 is our team player Sundowns. Mokwena wins and for the second time. Now, when you go and check the game, simbona ehleka in the video, kona press preview, Amanda interpreted Lando and Londo yakhala yofika kwaManqoba. We saw Manqoba besenza a decision. Sabona Mokwena engasadla. It goes to say about Ngalo Mokwena kehleka was basically saying it was undermining uNansika uMonqoba. Now uMonqoba is punishing him. Now imedia yenza loo nto ke to plant ezinto nani bantu ke ngoku follow imedia inwa easily misled media go and run with le nto ithethiweyo then it becomes a narrative ibe yile nto abantu bafuna ibe yiyo of which ingayiyo le nto existayo.
Mara Prasomi, can I just say before you move on, can I just say I just want to make the point, Guti. Didn't this become a Sundowns matter the moment Bruce stepped in and spoke about the Sundowns? Because if we're saying Guti, he was wearing bafana, surely then when Bruce came for Sundowns, he was also in the wrong for speaking out about whether Utebza is playing or not. And all of these things are mixing together.
No, whereas OT, when it comes to questions, the media, each and every answer is out to incident against before. So that the narrative that if you drive to that stand by because abantu and by Nesuka play by players most of the time they should go to media but control the words up and as by Nesuka play why should why players cannot be free to media and express how they feel about the game because when you go and say ibafana bekusiya kuyodlala besidlala iWorld Cup qualifiers stadium were empty. Now ngokuqale AFCON sadlala kakuhle then we saw them stadium sigcwele eBloemfontein important so it says then indibikade ingenzeki. So on the level of side kaMokwena, even noba ungaya kwi-side le team abantu they are not honest, abantu are so fragile okumo bengayazi so fragile kanje. They don't want to hear the truth. As Sundowns fans, we as Sundowns fans, we don't go to stadium. Abantu, they should stick to that. I accept for the fact that each and every time Sundowns ibithi xa izodlala igame enkulu ye-Champions League okanye FFL sibone kusenza i-interview kwi-players she's asking i-players to go out in numbers and support because bayazi i-players aziye baleli inumber ayitsho kafuna kudlaliwa. For the fact that it has it come to them to beg his supporters to go out, it says in engenzekiyo le. But thina we are the country engafuna inyaniso because a truth hurts. Abantu closer nenyaniso abantu they go for something to run with it. And so the negative see push about certain players. And I will stick to Lenwana Mokwena even if ngoba ngathi ucoach Mangaba akazumdlalisa this weekend. I know they had a
for time. For time, Preston. Let me jump in. Let me bring in Busti. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good and yourself, OT.
Hi, man.
Yeah.
No. I was just saying, hi, man. It's been a while. I was off for a week, man. To hear you guys is good. Busti, where do you sit on this topic? Firstly, what do you think about the words that were said by Mokwena?
OT ithi ngikubingelele ngiyabona at least to right man siyajabula ipanel ibuyile and the last time bengisepaneleni bekunesitswiritswiri esikhala. All right, no man ne OT OT, let me go back to Bruce. Hugo Bruce, when he took over Bafana, he had a lot of things to say. And of which he was telling the truth, but no one was agreeing with Bruce. Now we had who's this Flemingbeck. Flemingbeck said a lot, and he was telling the truth, but no one is agreeing with Flemingbeck. Now is Mokwena. Mokwena is coming out and saying Bafana is playing in an empty stadium. Again, we are shooting the boy for telling the truth. Why are we doing that? He's our own. I'm a Chiefs fan, but he's our own. When he was wearing that national team jersey, he's not a Sundowns player. He's a South African. He's representing our country. Yes, I also blame the guy who took the video. because there's someone in the background that said they will misquote
They will
you.
misquote you, yeah.
Yes, of which the last time he did the same thing when he said, my president, Julius Malema. Sometimes, Oti Nati, sinokuze panelini. Sinokuza ye panelini, and we wanna say things ngesilungu, but we say it in other words when people, and then people take it, they can turn it like. Remember, we are black people. When it comes to English, kancane sinokuphazamiseka OT. So maybe the way bekayibeka ngakhona bekafuna ukuyibeka ukuthi ibe clear ebantwini, but because uyibeke ngesilungu abantu sebeyithathela phezulu ngoba banoshukela. Come on, guys. Masingaphakamisa ama-high blood. The boy is telling the truth. Ibafana bafana idlale too many games kwi-empty stadium. So it's a privilege ukudlala kwi full capacity, a fully packed stadium like lebe bedlala kuyo. It's a privilege. It comes once. I had to Abuti Kutso say, even if we say sold out, the stadium is not full, you can still see our seats. The difference with us and other countries is like when you buy a ticket, you don't buy a ticket, you got number 6, go to your seat number 6. We don't do that in South Africa. In South Africa, we go and sit behind the poles. You'll find out in one seat, there's 2 people, like 15, they can sit in 5 seats behind the poles. So when you come and say the seats were empty, you look at the seats and you say, it's not sold out because the seats are empty. We don't see it like England. England, they sit like buyers allocate. When you buy a ticket, when the ticket says number 5, you'll go sit there. You don't make that mistake. So Mokwena, I mean, I don't blame him. It's a reality. It's there. We've seen it. Even like last season, if a Chiefs player can come out and say we are playing in front of an empty stadium, I was going to say, yes, the stadium is empty. What must he say? Must he say the stadium is full, but when you see the stadium is empty? No, he's telling the truth. And the personality to I find there's different personality. Omunye uzomthola mageze ilento news conference. And the people will question this guy, we've never seen this guy smiling. So when you look at Mokwena no Mufukeng, they always smiling. They always laughing. Like you touch them and
Marabusi, I want to ask, Guti, I understand that they have that. And maybe my question now becomes a broader question. We know that Mokwena jokes around. We know that the media is going to try and get a headline. Bafuni headline. Now, the question, we know exactly what they were doing with that question. It wasn't a question, Jay, that they were asking out of the blue. Where are the people that are meant to protect the players and the coaches and the clubs and the national teams from these people? Shouldn't there be people who step in and say, I don't know, I'm just going to use his name, Veli Lemnyandu. We know you. We know that you ask these questions like this. My job today is to sit there and say, Tebza, you don't have to answer that question. Where are those people? Because Mina, I just feel like we just do a circle. Press conference, kulmalona, shawi headline, everybody goes crazy. Let's quote you, Ibafana qualify. We even know now Hugo Bruce, Maga announced his squad. He's going to sit for an hour afterwards and they're going to find something there. Free. They're going to find something and then it's going to trend again. It's going to be a problem. At what point do people say, man, it's done? And who is meant to stop these things?
Yeah, yes, in that thing, SAFA should have those people. They should, like, I remember they had Ulona, Matomula Murake was the media office of Bafana. And recently I saw, but who's this lady, that colored lady?
Romy Titus.
Her name. Romeo Tatas. Yeah, I think now she's the one that's doing that.
I believe
she's the
so,
one
yeah.
that needs to step in. Yeah, she's the one that needs to step in and say, no, this is enough. You can't ask that question. But remember again, OT, if I want to trend, I just wait for those little things that Hugo will say, that Teboho will say, and then I want to be the first journalist to publish that, like what happened now. I just want those things to throw him under the bus, and then people will ask who came up with the story. They will run and say, "Hey, it's Vusi. Go read Vusi's what article. He came up with this story. So how true is the story? You understand?" And of which they misquoted Teboho. I still say you can't say something like that, and then he was not even laughing at that. He was laughing at the joke that everyone was laughing in the room. But the only person that we're crucifying now is Teboho.
Okay.
I understand.
Okay.
Because he's yeah.
I just want to say to Musa, that's Julia Stewart, I think it is Julia Stewart. She's the one who's at EPL. Romy Titus, I believe, is the one who's in charge of media.
Julia Stewart is working for EPL now.
Yeah,
it's Romy
yeah.
Titus.
It's Romy Titus.
Yeah.
Let me bring in Umkom. Oh, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, Taoti, how's it, my guy?
Man, I'm good, Umkom. Where do you sit on this matter before us today?
Yeah, uyazini ngibona ngathi sibhaca ngeqembe kahle kahle la wena uthi, let's be honest. It's a bafana press conference. They ask Utebza about that goal. You know what Tebza said? He said, I was a singular out and I am not used to playing in a full stadium.
Yeah.
Here's something that I've picked up from that statement when I uthi.
Yeah.
Utebza ukhuluma ngaye individually as a player, akakhulumeli team. Like I'm saying, it's a bafana conference, a press briefing. But then now Utebza usikhulumela yena uthi mina I'm not used to playing in a full stadium. Why are we hiding as if we don't see ukuthi Utebza usho team? Because Utebza ukhuluma ukuthi no, even kuloku team level I don't play ku full stadium. I mean, let's be honest, guys. Sundowns has been dominating in South African football for more than 10 years now.
Yeah.
They can't even fill up a stadium. And then we act as if we don't know. Because you can see even the way he laughed. You can see even the way he laughed. He knew what he was saying. This guy is very brave. You remember even Gulo airport, he said, I see Gune president, and he was referring to Umalema. Not the president of the country. He referred to Malema as a president. He said, my president. You get what I'm trying to say? He wasn't talking about Bafana. If you go back and read the body language and listen to the question when it was asked and listen to his response, he's saying, Mina Debs, I'm not used to play into.
But then, are we downplaying the context? Yoguti, him, the goals, the situation at the time of the goals, the reason the question is being asked, people who might get offended by some of the things. Don't you have to take all of those things into account, especially when you're a public figure?
As a player?
Yeah, I mean, for example, if this channel blows up and it becomes a very, very big thing, there's things that I know that I can't say. There's things that I know as the presenter of Overthinking Football on this platform. There's things that maybe are the truth, but I can't say them, or I have to be careful as to how I say them. Aren't we asking, shouldn't we ask that from our players, our coaches, but also from the structures around them?
Yeah. To be quite honest with you, I don't know why we want to. I don't know what is please by being honest about how he feels, because it's not like you are bashing Sundowns. You are actually telling Sundowns fans to go to the stadium. And there's nothing wrong with that, with players saying, hey guys, come and support us. We've been dominating the league for more than 10 years now. But still when we play, you can't even feel half of the stadium. You've seen Sundowns. When Sundowns is playing maybe Supersport, just imagine the Pretoria derby, the Tshwane derby. They can't even feel a stadium. So that's what I'm saying. What is exactly wrong with Tebza? Because he was just being honest. It was so nice to score a goal, go full capacity, because I am not used to that as Utebza. And then now we want to shift it. Bafana because that was a Bafana press briefing. No, he was referring to Mamelodi Sundowns, and Mamelodi Sundowns fans need to go to the stadium and support their boys.
But can you?
In Southern Africa, Sundowns. In Southern Africa, Sundowns is the big team. In Southern Africa, and in Africa, it's in top 4 or top 5. In the whole of Africa. But now you're telling me ukuthi ama-fans wakhona azoba sensitive ngale ndlela leyo ukuthi hayi kumele akhulume kanje. No, go to the stadium and watch abo-Tebs abadlala ibhola. There's nothing wrong with what Tebs are saying. But then because we are so sensitive as South African football fans and so forth, I don't get it. I honestly don't get it.
But is it being sensitive, or are we being played by the media? Because I think now I never saw I never watched the press conference the first time. I never saw it. It was put in the group. So they put videos into the group, the Overthinking Football group, and we started speaking about it. And that's where I started looking at these things. But I can tell you, the moment that they asked about the 2 goals that he scored that day, you could tell Guti, there's a line they're going to. Why did you celebrate so much? There's an answer they wanted. And if I don't know how to put it. Are we being manipulated willingly so also? Because Isafa and Bafana should have been ready for these things. But the players should be ready to, okay, I know that these guys are trying to trick me. We see them every week. We see the trends happen. We see the headlines. Whatever we say can be taken. Maybe I should come out and say, guys, I don't want to speak about those 2 goals that were scored. We just qualified for AFCON. We just beat, was it Uganda? We just beat Uganda. Can we please focus on that going into the game versus South Sudan, and we live our lives? Shouldn't there be also that accountability?
Okay, I get what you're saying, Oti. But, I still ask myself this question, Uguti. Are we that sensitive? Because it's not like he was saying something angathi yazi lo mfana bekhuluma iqiniso man. I don't know what to say, because the way ngibona ngakhona wena othi ubekhuluma iqiniso, and he felt he needed to say that. He felt he needed to say that. So like I'm playing ayazi ukudlala idiski.
Mara
now you want to train them ukuthi man fika lapha sicela ukuthi guys,
let me put it like this. Elvin, Mrs. You know that sometimes there's the wrong time to tell the truth. I get it. Sometimes there's the wrong time to say things, even if it's the truth. You understand, Guti, hey? Ukwatile, she just came home, whatever. If I tell her this thing now, it doesn't matter. She's going to take it a certain way. How come we can't expect that from players who, I think it's part of your life that now you are, the fact that they pick you for a press conference and those things, you have to have that sort of emotional intelligence, if that makes sense. Or in the case of the Springboks, you'll never hear Faf speaking. Why? Because there's a rule. You know what I mean? There's a rule.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
You know what? It does make sense. That's why I'm saying you are making sense to me. But I'm still thinking, Uguti, you scored 2 goals, and then today you get a chance, Uguti, you speak to the media, and they ask you about those 2 wonderful goals. And then you are saying, wow, it was so nice to score Amagolau 2 when we won there, and it was full capacity. Lapa Stadium. And I'm not used to playing Gulogu Stadium full ganje. So I enjoy to put 2 goals So now we say underline a Man City because I'm not used. Say I'm crucified because I'm not used to, and it's being honest. I mean, we can train them on whatever. We can. It means then the 24 players ku squad because hugo zovela donsa afuna ukuya nayo press briefing. Shothi bonke kwamele sibatrain ukuthi bangathini. Are we going to get ama answers esiwafunayo?
It's the national team, yes.
Ngoba uyothulalela lapha kube ngathi yonke lento irehesiwe. We need players like this.
Even better. Even better. Or if you're going to say, I remember Ronwen came out and said, please come out and support. Great time, great whatever. Nobody complained. I don't want to take it too far.
But Oiti, let me just highlight this before I go. Remember, Guti, when in that game, when he was selected to play in that game, he wasn't playing at Mamelodi Sundowns. You remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't playing, and then Bros decided to call him to play, and unfortunately scored those 2 goals. So, they wanted an opinion about that. How did it feel? To be Ziwegu squad and he scored those 2 goals. No, when because a conspiracy theory or something like that.
I don't even think about it. We know what the media wants.
It was just an honest question. Chief, as Tolang a chance to Kuluma now at that time, now you hear, how did it feel to score those 2 goals? It was so nice, it was full, and I'm not used to playing a full stadium. That's it. Then sa underline again, sesiyakwatelana la ngaphandle akufanele ukuthi akhulume kanje. No, Sundowns fans, go to the stadium, support your team. It's the biggest team in South Africa. We all know I'm a Kaizer Chiefs fan, but Sundowns is the biggest team. Sundowns fans, go and support Mamelodi Sundowns.
Okay. No.
Please.
For time's sake, I'm gonna just jump in there, guys. I did start a bit late today, so I am gonna finish at 9 o'clock still. But I wanna just speak about this thing. I like what Musa says. There's no honest question when it comes to the media, especially South African media, guys. The problem is not the truth. The problem is not the truth. The problem is what can be taken from the truth at that time. The problem can be taken from the context of that thing at that time. And I think what we need to realize is that is a fact, and that the media is looking for a headline. So Jose Rivero was asked the other day, Guti, Tito is doing so well, would you give him the number 10 jersey? Now, as a PR person, you have to think and say, okay, we're speaking about Tito, jersey number 10. There was an issue that happened a couple of months ago with Dr. Jomosono, who spoke what he spoke about elephants and ants. There was a whole bunch of weeks and months that were spoken about number 10. What that man is trying to do when he asks you this question is he's trying to rekindle that thing so that if Jose comes out and says, hey guys, I would definitely give him the number 10, they can spin it and say, Pirates coach believes that Tito is worthy of number 10. The next day they're trending. So the job of the PR is to say, okay, let's look at the whole situation. The whole situation, and then see what's right here. Do you know what Jose said? Jose said, it's not up to me. The people will decide. Took himself out of that position. I don't know what he thinks about the number 10 jersey with Tito. I don't know if he wants to do it or doesn't want to do it. But he understands. And Jose, I'm highlighting Jose because Jose is very good at doing that type of thing. So when we analyze the situation and speaking there, we have to look at the whole situation. Number one, excuse me, is he telling the truth? Yes, he's telling the truth. He doesn't play in front of sold-out stadiums all the time. He doesn't. That's the truth. But let's look at the other things. At the time of those 2 goals, he wasn't playing for Mamelodi Sundowns. He scored those 2 goals, he celebrated. What was the first thing everybody said here, guys? The first thing everybody said, even in the comments, why is he celebrating so hard? Is this a message to Mangoba? Media takes it, runs with it, and says, okay, he celebrated so hard because he's trying to prove a point to Mangoba. Next day, Mangoba gets asked questions. Story starts getting spun. Narrative starts getting spun. And in that time when narrative is getting spun, the whole time, it's trending. They want a trend. That's the whole point of this. They don't care whether Tebs is telling the truth. They don't care whether Mangoba is telling the truth. They don't care whether Bruce is telling the truth. Then what do? When those 2 goals happened and everything happened, first question they asked to Bruce was, why do you think Tebs is not playing? And Bruce goes off. This player, he's one of the best, yada, 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 all of that stuff. Oh, we've got our next headline. National team coach questions Mangoba. A Mangoba who hasn't won a trophy for Sundowns, who already is being questioned by other fans because of Rulani and all of that stuff. Fine. They add that all together, they trend another week. Then they go to Mangoba and they ask him. Mangoba says what he says. They trend another week on that topic. The following week, Mangoba comes out and says, no, we had lunch, we sat together, we were speaking, we're doing all that stuff. Stop. It trends another week. Now they come 2 months later and they say to Mokwena, hey man, hey, you celebrated so hard. Not how did you feel? You celebrated so hard when you scored those goals. Tell us about that experience. What was going through? Remember, I gave you the background. Now they're just waiting for him to say something to trend. And this is why I am asking the grown-ups who are meant to be at these clubs, who are meant to say, Rulani, don't say that, or don't answer that question. The people who are meant to be thinking about all of these things, where are they in these situations? Because if I, who hadn't heard the question, I saw the message and I was like, wow, why would they ask him that question now? Somebody should have stepped in. That's why, guys, your celebrities, the big ones from around the world, they have people they call publicists, they have managers. It's people who are meant to step in and stop you from speaking your mind and telling a truth that maybe at that time is not the right time to tell the truth, or maybe you're not the messenger for that truth. Maybe that shouldn't have come from Utebza. Maybe the truth should have come from Safa as a statement to the country to say, guys, Bafana is doing so well. Please come out and support us. Maybe even that doesn't put a player under scrutiny. Ali won. Guys, a lot of this game is about protecting your players and protecting your relations and protecting all of that stuff. When you say things off the cuff, these people are going to hear it. 1,000 people are going to hear it. It's going to trend. No one's going to care about your apology. And you know what happens? All of this time that we're speaking, nobody's speaking about the fact that Bafana is doing very well. So at the very least, with Bafana, somebody should have said, we cannot have drama again. Bruce has drama. This one has drama. Now there's drama here. You know what, guys? Let's look forward. It's a final. Sundowns is about to play Magesi in a final. Tebza had gone through stuff. Let's try get something so that we can then ask Kumangoba. Somebody should have said, maybe Mokwena is not the right person to go out for that press conference as a player who the last time he had a press conference, there was an issue that arose. And it's not to silence his truth or to stop his ego or to do all of that stuff. It's to say, Tebza, we're protecting you. Because do you know what's happening today? Outside of the professional ranks? What's happening today is that people are questioning the way that he plays, his loyalty to Sundowns, he's this, he's that. What does that do to a player's psyche? Later on. What happens when Bruce says something and now Mangoba, think about it. Mangoba is sitting at home and now Mangoba has to decide, do I play this player now and prove everybody right and then also have to deal with backlash for me? Or do I bench him and carry on with the narrative that I'm strong? You see now, look, one statement has done all of that stuff. And that is why PR is important. Do you know why you don't hear any bad things about the Springboks? It's because the PR stops it. I wasn't joking when I said to you guys, Pratemba, if he was on, Pratemba can tell you. As them, the journalists, they were told, you are not allowed to go and question somebody. They were drunk Springboks. How come there were no interviews with them? Do you know why? PR steps in and says, hey, we're not going to allow you to speak, Damian Williamson, who wore the same kit for 3 days and was drunk out of his mind. Not one soundbite came out of that to protect him. Hey, if you want to speak to somebody, speak to Sia. We've sat down, we've trained Sia, we've done all of those things. We're controlling the narrative. But in football, we allow the narrative to be controlled by the media. And then we're shocked later on when the stories are trending. Guys, the truth of the matter is that Mamelodi Sundowns player, one player, is accountable to millions of fans. Not just those of Sundowns, other people. You can't afford to have these things going around. The Springboks, guys, drink until they're drunk. All types of scandals that are put behind and they go, for the sake of this team and the image of the Springboks then, forget about everything else. We're going to hide these things so that everybody thinks Springboks is the perfect team. They were fighting not so many years ago. Put behind. Why? It's because you're trying to protect the institution. And if the institution needs to speak, Ronwen, you are captain, we're going to make a time when you're going to come out and give your plea to South Africans. It's not going to come because a media person asked you. And that was not protecting Utebza. That was not protecting Utebza. I think that's what I'm fighting. I forget about everything else. Utebza now, because he said that thing, he's alone with his DMs. He's alone with the notifications. He's alone with the questions. And we can say people are strong and people are all this and all of that stuff. If something goes wrong and now all of these things are falling on the player, have you protected that player? That's the point of public relations. It's not to stop people from telling the truth. And if you're going to tell the truth, pick the right person, the right time, the right medium. It would be much stronger if all of Bafana were standing together and they were saying, guys, look at what we've done. Imagine an advert. This is what the Springboks do. Let me put it like this. This is what the Springboks do. They would put out an advert where all 30 players of Bafana would be standing in a studio or in a well-lit place with a camera, and they'd tell them, okay, Ronwen, this is your script. We're all going to speak about this as if we are a united front. This is your script. No, that doesn't sound right. We're going to, let's shoot it again. Okay, yeah. No, that one sounded better. Okay, no, wait. Let's shoot it again. That way you're protecting these players. That way you're making sure that your message doesn't get lost. If the message well and truly is that the stadiums are not full, there's a way to speak about that. There's a way to get that across. But the difference between rugby and us and cricket and all of these things, the difference is those guys have people in the background that care about the brand rugby, that coordinate these things. I've told you guys so many times here on this show, chasing the sun is not a mistake. Chasing the sun. Sia popping up at these schools and doing viral things with the kids. It's not by mistake. Those are all planned. But Tina, you leave Rulani to go say things outside. You leave Uzbanban to go say things outside. And now we've forgotten that Sundowns was a good team. We're speaking about him fighting Sid Ramovic. That's what's trending. We're forgetting that this Bafana team is doing something historic. Because drama. And there's nobody who cares enough to control the narrative. Control the narrative. But more importantly, protect your players. Asi Utebza akakhuluma iqiniso. But create a situation where Utebza and others can speak iqiniso together with strength behind the brand, behind whatever. Behind the mouthpiece. One last example. There's a reason why Patrice Motsepe didn't come out and address the Rulani situation. There's the reason why Fleming didn't come out and address the Rulani situation. There's the reason why it was the club statement that came out and said, this is where the club is standing. The club, strength. And why Rulani struggled a little bit because he was alone on the outside. We have to learn these things, man. Everybody keeps saying, truth. You know what truth does? When you don't plan for truth. When you don't invite those people specifically for truth, it can go anywhere. But anyway, guys, I'm going to be here tomorrow live for the Bafana game. Please follow if you have not followed. The episodes are available in full on YouTube. You can go watch them. Lindo is live right now with the TDB show, so head on over that side and he speaks. I've got another channel that we've started called 3-Man Press on YouTube. It's me, Lindo Pep, and Khalifan, Football Khalifan. So please join us. We have some incredible chats there. Support us, content creators. There's a link in my profile. I can't speak about it out loud here on this platform because I will get banned, but there's a link in my profile. You guys can follow. And yeah, I've got some really cool things coming up for the Carling Knockout. Thank you guys so much for the support. I'll see you then tomorrow, guys. I'll see you then tomorrow. Excuse me. I'll see you then tomorrow for the Bafana game versus East South Sudan. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye, everyone. Oh, actually, wait, before I go, thank you to Sugar Spice, Bob. Thank you to Gustavo, Ntabi, Lindo, Sipo, Malume Kutso, Crazy T. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you to everybody that tapped the screen. Thank you to those who are watching on YouTube. Bye, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. Llegué, les piwe.